Alright, hello Nathan. So for this video lesson, we'll recap the Seek and Destroy, the main 4 fills at the beginning. We'll go through that ending of Fuel, the part that confuses you after the slow, or part 3, the slow part. And then also remember to keep listening to Yellow, and maybe if you're too sick, just air drum in bed to it. Just because I think the band practice should be next week, so that'll be fun. So to start off, if you remember the 10, 10 of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, immediately. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So that's the intro. Just remember to get those 5 right after the 10. The first fill, 48 seconds, pretty much. Flam snare to a single hit. High, middle, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the next fill, so it's, that one, the fill 2, it's the 2 snares, and then fill 3, that's the 2 crashes, so. But sometimes I accidentally do the 3 on this one, so you can they kind of sound a little similar, so you can do either one really there if you want to. But if you want to keep it true to the song, then that's the first one, so it's kick, double kick, crash with the snare. So that's the first part. After the crash with the snare, 2 snares. Then it's kick with the crash. Kick with the crash. Quick 2, slow 2. Okay, and then the third fill, pretty much the same exact thing, except instead of the slow 2 snares, 2 crashes with the kick now. And then that third crash, that's the first beat of the next measure down there. So all that is onto the next part, and then after a little bit of that, then we get the last fill in part 1, or lesson 41. So it's the same kick, hi-hat, and then to a double kick, to a crash with the snare. Then it's snare, snare, high. Then it's 2 around the toms, like an around the world, just with the toms. Okay, so just focus on those 4 fills for the part 1. So the first fill, one more time with that one. Second fill, 54 seconds. Third fill. And then fourth fill. Okay, after that, we can get where did it go? Okay, and Fuel. So pretty much you got part 1 down. Part 2, you have pretty well right there. And then part 3, when it slows down, you got that. And then at the very end, that's whenever it gets a little tricky. After the double crashes. So I think that part you pretty much have. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then it's a quick little 4. So it's like a 1, 2, 3, quick 5, and then a slow kind of 5 there, and then another quick 5, and then a slow 8 till the end. And then that carries on that groove for a little bit. And then this is the part I think that gets you right here in the guitar solo that you said. It's whenever when that hi-hat to snare comes in, that'll come in right after the 4 crashes. At 322. So that's when the crashes come in, and then it's the hi-hat, and then back to the crashes right here. So after the next pair of 4 crashes, then it's the kick, snare with the crash. 1, 2, 3. Into that part at the end, the last little tom groove. So all you need really is just after the quick intro into the solo up here. You hear that beat. At 322, you'll hear the crashes. So you'll hear crashes in the 4 crashes the first time. That's followed by the hi-hats. After 1, 2, 3. Into the hi-hats. Then you'll go immediately back into the crashes. And that's right here. This is part 2 of the crashes, the 4 crashes. Then at 329, you do a quick little snare, 3 snares right there. Kick, crash with the snare, hi-hat. Then that's the 3 crashes part. And then you can actually count that the next one as like the 4th crash, the next beat 1 of the next measure right there. You do a quick 2 snare right there into the fill that leads into the tom groove. So it's 4 crashes up here at 322. Okay, we got 4 crashes. Then we have the snare with the hi-hat on the next measure. Then we have another 4 crashes next measure. Then we'll call that one the triple snare into the triple crashes. And then followed by that one, we have the quick 2 snare right here into the tom fill that introduces the tom groove. And then I'll have a playthrough of the ending of the slow part to the ending of the song, just so you can hear where those 4 crashes, the hi-hat with the snare part right here, the next 4 crashes, the 3 snare, 3 crashes with the kick, and then the 2 snare, and then the tom groove right there. And then another thing is at this last tom groove right there, he'll do a double snare instead of just a flam. And then occasionally a little flam, which he does actually only once. So it's right here. The single flam with the snare. Every other time, it's pretty much a double. Just make sure that that's what he's doing. Yep. and then he'll alternate with the crashes, going back to the double. So he'll just go back and forth with those until the end. And if you remember, this muted 1, 2, 3, 4. He only does one of those at the very end, so just watch out for that one. And then before the slow crashes at the very, very, very end, he'll do a 2 snare groove into the slow part. So it's just 1, 2 snare, 2 snare, and then kind of a slow 8. 1, 2. And that's how it ends right there. So just when you're listening to the playthrough right here, I go from about right here of the slow part, that last double crash about there, and then through the guitar solo, look out for the 4 crashes at 322, the snare and the hi-hats, 4 crashes, 3 snare, 3 crashes, the 2 snares, and then the introduction of the tom fill that goes to the tom groove. Listen for the doubles there. And then at the very, very end right here, after the build up, that there's only one of those, and it goes straight into the groove. And then there's only those 2 snares, so after that second snare on this measure, it goes immediately into that snare fill, and then we go into the slow part, and that's what ends it. So just listen to that in this playthrough, and then just keep practicing Yellow, Seek and Destroy, and just playing through Fuel and having fun. So hopefully you're better next week, and see you then.